Hi there, good noon, and we meet each other once again so that we can continue to take our preparation to the next level. So this session, as you can see, is a verbal ability skill builder session where I will talk about the verbal ability section of not only the CAT exam but also the OMETs, the other management entrance tests. And why do we need to talk about other management entrance tests? Let's see. The truth is, CAT is not the only exam that we plan to write. We also plan to write exams like the ZAT, SNAP, IIFT, NMAT, TISNET, CMAT, Maharashtra CET. And when you look at all of these other exams, you'd have a much wider syllabus. Unfortunately, when we start preparing, we constantly think of CAT, 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 and we let go of all those other areas. And when those exams come close, we at times are not able to perform well. So this session will ensure that you do not make that mistake. This session will ensure that your preparation remains absolutely spot on the money, on the ball, on the top for each one of these entrance exams. So my name is Vikrant. You are on BYJU'S exam prep channel dedicated to your success as an MBA aspirant. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, hit the subscribe button and then press the bell icon so that whenever we go live, whenever we upload a new session, you know of it and you don't meet us accidentally. I am going to be your personal coach for English for this particular session where we plan to dive deeper into the world of verbal ability. So see, as an aspirant, what is expected from you? You are supposed to write and clear these entrance exams, these aptitude tests, and these aptitude tests have quite a few sections, right? So what are those different sections? Well, you need to prepare for quantitative aptitude. You need to prepare for data interpretation. You need to prepare for logical reasoning. You need to prepare for general awareness or GK, as it is a part of quite a few of these other management entrance tests. I hope that you're not ignoring that. And particularly for that, you also have this entire section dedicated to decision making. And then finally, we have English or VARC or language comprehension, whichever label different exams use. At the end of the day, you have a section on English. Now, if you dive deeper into the English section, you'd notice that it majorly divided into two categories. So we obviously have reading comprehension. Remember all those unseen passages? And if you look at the contribution of reading comprehension to the English section, you'd realize that up to 67% of the section is going to be RC. So for most of the exams, I'll say the range is 25% to 67% approximately. However, we have this exam called SNAP, which has not asked us a passage for a couple of years. So except for that, every other exam that you write will typically test you on reading comprehension. So make sure that you read a lot. And then we have this area that we plan to dive deeper today into, and that is verbal ability. So after RC, whatever is left is VA. So that basically is your rest of the section. So what gets asked within verbal ability? So predominantly four different things. So you can get vocabulary based questions, you can get grammar based questions, you can have paragraph based questions, and you can have critical reasoning questions. So broadly speaking, if I talk about the CAT, it essentially has paragraph based questions. But the moment you step out of the CAT, the moment you look at these other exams, you'd see these questions that are based on vocabulary, questions that test your grammar, and then a lot of direct critical reasoning questions as well. Now, does the CAT require you to master critical reasoning? Absolutely yes. Now, a lot of reading comprehension in the CAT is basically disguised critical reasoning. So you anyway need to go ahead and master that area, that segment, but then the other exams like the ZAD, the IFT, etc. will also ask you a couple of direct questions. I think the most recently conducted exam that we had was TISNET, and it did have a couple of critical reasoning questions. And therefore, you're supposed to anyway go ahead and master that. So let me introduce you to these areas. Let's talk about the scope and the kind of questions that get asked. And once we are done with that, I will give you a strategy for each one of these 4 areas and see how you can go on and develop yourself. Ready? So let's start with vocabulary based questions. So, sorry, what kind of questions does the examiner ask in vocabulary? How about sampling them for yourself? Let us see. How about solving this question? And I'm giving you 30 seconds for it, and your time starts now. Okay, 5 seconds to go. Where are the answers? You can drop your answers in the chat box below. Okay, so let us have a look at this particular question. So we are being asked for the synonym of the word invidus. Invidus basically means any action that is likely to arouse anger in others. ऐसा कोई भी काम जिसको करने से सामने वाले को बुरा लगे या उसे गुस्सा आए. That is invidus. So what is A? Mournful. Mournful basically means something that evokes sadness. ऐसी चीज जो दूसरों में थोड़ी उदासी पैदा करे. Then slowly, आपको पता ही है, you know what it means. Indifferent is when you don't have any interest in something, when you do not care for something. And then you have hateful. Hateful is filled with hatred. घृणा से भरा हुआ. So if I see B and C can be eliminated rather easily, and between mournful and hateful, which one is closer to anger? Hateful, right? And that is why our answer here should be option D. So, synonyms and antonyms. Here is another question for you. Why don't you look at this? Your time starts now. This can get a little tricky, so make sure that you think it through and read the directions carefully. We are halfway through. Guys, where are the answers? Ashmita, where is your answer? There you are. So, now resolute actually means determined. So, if the question was pick a synonym, I would have chosen determined. But then the question does not ask us for the synonym. So, which one should we choose? So, what is the meaning of resolute? Determined, someone who stands firm, somebody who is adamant on a course of action, somebody who will not change or budge, right? Now, determined is a synonym, but then what is the meaning of the word agreeable? Agreeable is something or somebody who's willing to agree, or something that conforms, or somebody who conforms to what others say. Determined is a synonym. Constant will also be a synonym. Faithful also to a large extent is going to be a synonym. If you're an agreeable individual, it means that you may have this tendency to agree with others. Instead of staying firm on your own stance, you may change it depending upon what the other person says. And therefore, in this set of 4 options, I will choose A as our answer. So what do these 2 questions tell you? They tell you that when it comes to vocabulary, you can get asked synonyms and antonyms of various words in a lot of different exams, IIFT and SNAP in particular. Then here is your third question. This time around, I've given you a sentence with a blank. You are supposed to pick up the correct word for this blank, and your time starts now. BK Panda, you did not read the directions in the previous question. So when we say a bouquet of flowers, what is the correct spelling of bouquet? No cheating. Nobody will Google. Go ahead and give me the answer. Right. So the correct answer here is option D. So you can be tested on spellings. Here is the next one. Have a look at this. Another fill in the blank with your 30 seconds starting now. Five seconds to go. And the correct answer to this particular question is C. So what does this question test really? You've heard of idioms or idiomatic expressions. So this question basically tests our understanding of idioms. When you promise the moon to somebody, then it means that you promise great or big things that cannot be achieved. Right? So in this context, because we were looking for the correct word for the idiom, it had to be moon. So you need to know your idioms, and apart from idioms, there is one more aspect which is very important for you, and that is the aspect tested by this particular question. Your time starts now. Three, two, one, and let's go. So this question tests your understanding of something called phrasal verbs. So you know a verb, right? So phrasal verb is a verb along with a preposition, usually. At times it can also be an adverb. But then normally a verb along with a preposition used in such a way that the meaning does not remain literal. Okay. So it is due to this lethargy. Lethargy is lack of energy. Lethargy is laziness. Lethargy is complacence. Lethargy is जब लगता है ना यार अब तो यार मेरे में एनर्जी नहीं है यार भाई काम करने की, हाँ, या you just feel lazy, हाँ. So जब आप lazy होंगे तो plan का क्या होगा? The plan will not succeed. The plan will not work. तो fell या fall के साथ क्या preposition डालें कि सही मीनिंग निकल करके आए? Which preposition should I use with fell or fall so that it leads to the right meaning? So fell off is a decrease in something. Do we want to say a decrease in something? Fell off can also in some contexts mean that you stop performing a particular action. So it's not normally used for plans. Then fallout can refer to a quarrel that you have with your friend. You know, I had a fallout with my bestie last week. Fallout can also refer to some undesirable outcome. Then you have fall through. Fall through means to come to nothing. Fall through means to fail. No, fall away is not exact. directly a phrasal verb. So here the best phrasal verb will be fell through, not fall off. The plan cannot fall off. An object, when it becomes detached from something else, then you can use fall off. A tile fell off the roof. He has fallen off the wagon. So person can fall off, a plan can't. So it won't be A, it is going to be C. So just to summarize, you can get synonyms and antonyms, you can get fill in the blanks, within fill in the blanks, or even otherwise. The examiner can also test you on idioms and phrasal verbs, and for an exam like IIFT, you can also be tested on foreign expressions. Additionally, there are a couple of question types that I'm not introducing today. You have verbal analogy questions, you have odd one out questions, then of course you have spellings, and we have gone through one such question for that particular category. So now you know the domain, now you know the kind of things that get asked. So the question is, what should you do in order to be in a position where you excel at these questions? So what should your strategy be? So I personally believe that vocabulary is an easy area. See, come to think of it, what is difficult and what is easy? In vocabulary, if I do not know the meaning of a word, I'll call it difficult. If I know the meaning, I'll call it easy. Now, is it really difficult to acquire the meaning of a word? No, you just need to pick up a dictionary, go to that word, check its meaning, and there it is. You know the meaning. So vocabulary per se is a very easy area. The challenge in vocabulary comes from the sheer volume. Okay, volume in the sense that you want to acquire somewhere between 2000 to 6000 words to your existing repertoire. So 2 से 6000 words, तो numbers, volume का problem है ये, area मुश्किल नहीं है. And whenever you come across a voluminous area, an area which is very vast, my suggestion is to do something about that area every day. Just chip away at it every day. So the strategy should be pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Make a to-do list and block 20 minutes on your calendar every day for vocabulary, and in these 20 minutes you are going to learn new words using whichever tool that you're familiar with, whichever technique that you know. It can be a word list, it can be learning words through root words, it can be using some other association based method, visual method, auditory method, whatever. But make sure that you invest 20 minutes every day. My hunch is that if you devote these 20 minutes, you'd be learning close to 20 words. And if you keep doing that for the next 200 or 250 days, you'd very easily be able to, you have around 300 days, right? You'd very easily be able to reach this target of 6000 words. But you need to be regular. If you're not regular, it is only then that it is going to pose a problem for you. Okay? So get it? And if you want to practice more such questions, we have a lot of topic quizzes, etc. on our app. In fact, you can also go to the app and write our section test. So if you write the section test, you'll get exposed to some more of these questions and question varieties. The link for the section test is pinned on the comment box, and my team member has also very recently shared that link, so you can go use that link and attempt our VARC quiz. So that's about vocabulary. Now let us move over to our next area, which is grammar. So what kind of questions do we get asked in grammar? Well, fundamentally 2 question varieties, if I may. So let me expose you to those 2 question varieties. Here is the first one on the screen, and your time starts. Okay, before I do that, let me give the directions. One of these, A, B or C, may have a grammatical error. The part which has that grammatical error is going to be your answer. In case you think that the sentence is all right and there is no error, of course, go ahead and choose D, and your time starts now. Come on. Let's keep putting in the effort. Let's keep finding out how determined we are, how resolute we are. Okay, Dhwani, I see that. That was really fast. Let others catch up as well. So the correct answer here is A. It should be it was I and not it was me. See that? Now, if I were a grammar textbook, I would tell you the rule. And you know the rule. The rule is when a pronoun acts as a complement of a copulative verb, it should be in the nominative case. Should I repeat it again? Or should I repeat it again? क्यों बोल रहा हूँ यार मैं repeat के साथ क्या हो गया मेरे को? Okay, so the rule is when a pronoun acts as a complement of a copulative verb, it should be in the nominative case. Man, that's why so many of us hate grammar books. Let me simplify it for you, something that I do in all my classes for my students. So the simplified version is whenever you see a sentence that has it is, it was, or it will be, and then you notice a pronoun immediately thereafter, then this pronoun will always, without exception, is going to be a subject and not an object. And now tell me, between I and me, which one of the two is used as a subject? I is used as a subject, whereas me is used as an object in a sentence. And because the pronoun is being put after it was, I know that it has to be the subject, and that is why it was I and not it was me. So A is your answer. And then here is one more question. This is the kind of question that you can expect in exams like SNAP and IFT, maybe even TISNET. Here it is. You have an underlined word. You're supposed to give me the part of speech of the underlined word, and your time starts now. Ashmita, I am sure Nikita ma'am has not said that. I'm pretty confident about it. You can review the session, and please make sure that you use I. Okay, guys, answers. तो अपने ना अपन डे टू डे लाइफ में इट इज मी बोल देते हैं. डोरबेल बजाई, किसी ने बोला कौन है, इट्स मी. ग्रामेटिकली गलत. I did not spend the night there. So what is there? The correct answer is A. There is an adverb of place. There talks about the place of an action. So if I say I spent the night there, I spent the night where? There. It tells you the place at which the action happened. In this sentence, it tells you the place where the action did not happen. So anything that adds to the meaning of a verb is called an adverb. Adjectives are words that add to the meaning of a noun or a pronoun. Right? So that is by A. So basically two types of questions. The first is error identification, where you are given a sentence and you're supposed to figure out the grammatical error. And the other variety is these foundational grammar questions, where the examiner gives us a sentence with a part underlined. He may ask for the part of speech of that part. He may ask for the element of sentence for that part. Okay, examiners may ask, okay, tell me it is a phrase or a clause. He may ask, okay, tell me it is a noun clause or an adjective clause or an adverb clause, what? So you need to be good at the basic grammar terminology. And then there is this one more variety that I've seen in exams like CMAT and Maharashtra CET, and that variety is where they ask us to change the voice or change the narration. So make sure that you are good at active and passive voice along with direct and indirect speech. So how do we go on to become good at it? One thing that all of us can do is that we can make English as our primary language, use it in our daily life. And in addition to that, here is a simple strategy for you. Pick up any basic foundational book of English grammar. Remember the book that you used back in your school days? If you still have that book lying around, go ahead, use that. So when I went to school, my teacher used Renan Martin. So there is this book called English Grammar and Composition by Renan Martin. You can use that. Or whichever other book that you have lying around, make sure that you pick that book up and read it twice. Read it twice. So you're supposed to go through that book twice. When you read it for the first time, it is not necessary for you to go through the exercises, but in the second reading, you would like to go through the exercises as well. And because those books, the exercises can be very simple, you can attempt every third question. It's not necessary for you to go through the entire exercise, but make sure that you go through at least 1/3 of it. Apart from that, attend my classes and go through a lot of practice questions that we put you through on a wrap in our classes here and there. And when I say read this book twice, some people think of it as a license that, oh, I need to read it twice. I'll finish it around my exams. But no, let me also set the pace for you. Your job is to go through 7 pages of that book every day, at least 7 pages. If you do that, you'll be able to finish this book in around 70 days. When I say finish, I mean that you'll be able to read it twice in around 70 days. Okay, so that's your target. 70 days from now, you should have read this book twice. That going through it twice means that you've finished the syllabus, and then you can move towards mastering that syllabus by moving towards advanced level of concepts, by practicing more questions and all. So that's about grammar. And now coming over to paragraph based questions. So a lot of emphasis is given to paragraph based questions on this channel in our practice sessions, because paragraph based questions are a part of the CAT exam. So in the CAT, if you look at the last 10 years, there are 4 question varieties that have been asked, and they are parajumbles, paragraph odd one out, paragraph summary, and para completion, which used to be a part of the CAT exam long ago, then they stopped asking it, and then last year in CAT 22, this made a reappearance. So I think it's obvious that an examiner for some reason wants you to be very familiar with the composition of a paragraph. So I'll not put you through paragraph based questions today, since it's more of a strategy session and you know what these questions are. In case you do not, here is a quick overview. Parajumbles, 4 sentences which are taken from a paragraph, but they're jumbled. You're supposed to figure out the most coherent way of arranging those 4 sentences. Paragraph odd one out, 5 sentences, 4 belong to the same paragraph, 1 does not. Your job is to figure that the one that does not. Paragraph summary, the examiner gives you a paragraph followed by 4 alternate summaries. Now, if I talk about the CAT exam, the examiner does not even give us the summary, it just gives us the main idea. So more of main idea questions. So 4 options, you're supposed to pick up the one that reflects the right summary. And para completion, a paragraph with a blank, you're supposed to figure out which sentence goes into that blank. Or the way they did it last year, they give you a sentence followed by a paragraph with 3 or 4 locations identified. You are supposed to figure out the best location for that sentence. So para completion in a slightly flipped manner. Okay, so how do you become better at these questions? One of the reasons why people struggle in paragraph based questions is that they fail to understand that paragraph. So a very core part of a strategy is to read more so that you are able to understand things easily. It will of course help you in RCs, but then it will also help you in VA. And in case you wonder what it is that you should read, well, here is my take. These are the three areas that have contributed a significant percentage of paragraph-based questions over the last 5 years. So make sure that you're familiar with at least these three areas. And additionally, start writing. Now you may wonder why, but then the truth is, paragraph-based questions are the examiner's way to test your ability to write, albeit in an indirect manner. So anybody who starts writing automatically goes on to become really good at paragraph-based questions. And additionally, remember when you get a call from the IIMs, the next round has written ability test. So if you start writing, you'll also become a really strong candidate for WAT, for cracking WATs. And in some session here or there, I've talked about how you can improve your writing. I've also shared some of the writing prompts. If you're regular here, you've gone through those sessions and hopefully you'd benefit from those. In case you struggle, do let us know and we'd be more than happy to help you. And then learn the right technique. So if you see, paragraph-based questions are basically technique-based. So in order to excel at these questions, yes, you need a bit of comprehension, bit of logic, bit of vocabulary, bit of grammar. You're already acquiring through these things through other areas, through other sessions. These questions would ask you to draw from your knowledge of those areas and then use the right technique. So learn the right technique. You can find some sessions here on YouTube, or the easy way out is to join our batch, join our program where we teach these things to you. And once you know the right technique, of course, practice each question type until you get a 70% accuracy. So when you get 70% accuracy, move over to the next question type. That's just round one. In round two, we move towards 80-90% accuracy, maybe even 100% accuracy. So that's about verbal ability, paragraph-based questions. And finally, you have these critical reasoning questions. So this is one question variety which I think I'd not be able to dive deep into today. But fundamentally, critical reasoning is all about working with arguments. And when I say working with arguments, I mean these three things. You need to learn to identify arguments, analyze arguments, and then maneuver through those arguments. So remember all those questions where the examiner asks you to identify the assumption, inference, strengthen or weaken, right? All of those are basically critical reasoning questions. Now, the truth is, we do use critical reasoning in our everyday life. Subconsciously, you're using these things in order to predict, in order to take decisions. However, most of us, I'd say almost all of us, have not studied this area formally. So I'd suggest that you learn the basics first. And once you've learned the basics, you can practice these questions. And then if you're getting a particular variety wrong, then you can customize your strategy accordingly. निर्मल बता यार कौन सी चीज नहीं समझ में आई, मैं बिल्कुल हिंदी में भी समझा दूंगा उसको इस सेशन में. सो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है ऐसे. मैं हिंदी, इंग्लिश, पंजाबी तीनों में फ्लुएंट हूँ. पंजाबी इसलिए कम बोलता हूँ कि उसमें फ्लुएंसी में कई बार पंजाबी में हम लोग गालियां बहुत बोल देते हैं ना, तो वो निकल जाती हैं, तो इसलिए. बट तू बता, जहां भी तुझे लगे समझ में नहीं आया बता यार, अपन हैं, अपन बिल्कुल बताएंगे. हाँ, सो फॉर CR I'd say this is the strategy basically, right? और इसके अलावा यार, in order to get more knowledge, we have these section wise quizzes available on our app. You can in fact, and there are a lot of other things that you find on the app. Just like the YouTube channel, we also take a lot of sessions on the app. Additionally, you'd find topic-based questions, you'd find questions posted by our community, you'd find questions posted by the teachers, and then of course we also put up a lot of topic-based, topic-wise quizzes or section-wise quizzes. So the link is there in the description box. and it is also shared by my team. If somebody from my team is here, could you please share that again? So make sure that you utilize all of these things. And then we have a very detailed, very comprehensive, very thorough course. If you join it, I'm sure you are going to benefit immensely. Look at the features यार, मतलब और क्या चाहिए यार, सब कुछ तो है. And to make it easy for you to join it, we have these scholarship tests that keep on happening now and then. So make sure that you do it. And if you want to have more inputs on a wider strategy, see, today we talked about verbal ability. You want to have wider strategy, register for this session that is happening on 7th of March, and that will help you immensely. Okay. And Maharashtra CET, guys, 18th and 19th of March, the tentative exam date. So we are starting our series of 100 most expected Maharashtra CET questions from 6th of March onwards. तो 6 मार्च को सरल सर लेंगे सेशन, उसके बाद बारी बारी से पूरी टीम वाले लेंगे, तो उसको रेगुलरली करो. नाउ टू आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन दैट समबडी आस्क्ड अ लिटिल व्हाइल अगो, सर महाराष्ट्र सीटी पोस्टपोन होगा क्या? यार पता नहीं. But then come to think of it, the exam can happen on 18th, 19th of March. If you think it will be postponed and it does not get postponed, what will happen to you? On the other hand, let us say you prepare for 18th and 19th March and then the exam does get postponed. So what? You get additional time to practice even more. So until we get a notification, please believe from the core of your heart that it is going to happen on 18th and 19th of March, and just prepare with that single-minded focus. If it gets postponed, great, we'll have more time to work together. If not, you'll at least be in a position to give your best. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through attending all of these sessions. And we are wherever you are, so make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, join a Telegram group and ask more questions there. And here is a thought that I wanted to leave you with today. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple, but it is worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. So said Steve Jobs. तो यार simple रखो, दिमाग को ज़्यादा complex, complicate मत करो. vocab पे काम, grammar पे काम, RC पे काम, paragraph based questions पे काम, CR पे काम. 5 चीजें कैसे करना है बता दिया. Start करो and then let us see how that shapes up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you enjoyed this session, please hit the like button and show some love. Until I see you again, and in fact I will see you again at 12 tomorrow. थोड़ी और RC practice करनी है, तो कल आ जाओ यार 12 बजे. CMAT के reading comprehension passages practice करेंगे, but even if you're a CAT 23 student or a Maharashtra CET student, you will find it relevant. तो जुड़े रहें, बने रहें हमारे परिवार के साथ, and we will definitely help you become a better version of yourself. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch. Okay? Take care. Have a nice day.